for being here. So we're going to start the proceedings now with Amet. Amet, would you like to go ahead and do your presentation? And then after your presentation, that'll be followed by Rhiannon's. You could share your screen, take over the screen if you want.
Okay. That sharing?
I can see it, yes.
So, hello everyone, my name is Amis. Like I said, I am a second-year university student studying events management and finance, and I will be talking a little bit about my university experience so far. So, I'll be talking about me, about university life, work experience I've done, and some future plans that I have planned. So, a little bit about myself. I was born in Spain, but my whole family is from Ecuador. We came to the UK, in specific to London, in 2014 when I was 11. So I am fluent in Spanish and in English. I've lived in London since 2014, where I went to my secondary school and sixth form at Goodwood Academy, and I then chose to come to University of Chichester, where I'm currently in my second year. So moving on to my university life. The course I am currently studying is the whole reason why I chose to come to this university. It was the only university I found that did both event management and finance as a course. So even though I am the only person in the whole university that does this specific course, it's not really one, but it's two separate courses. So I have event management modules and finance modules separately, which I really like, because before coming to university, I wanted to figure out which of the two I preferred. So having separate modules on them is really helpful to figure that out. So for my event management course, I have had different modules that include the contemporary tourism and event management and event planning, design and creation during my first year. And currently we are doing planning and managing events. So as part of this year's module, the class was split into two teams. One is doing Spring Fair and the other one, which I am in, is doing the Jump Awards 2023. It's basically an event that awards students and staff for following and promoting sustainable practices. So a little bit about the Jump Awards. Every year at the end of the academic year, a group of second-year students, event management students, are given the responsibility to plan and execute this event. So this year it's our turn. And we wanted to give it a different type of theme. Instead of just plants and flowers, we wanted to give it a fancy touch to it. So that's why we came up with our theme, which is the Green 1920s, which is inspired by the Great Gatsby, but still adding some green to it, so it's still sustainable. So we wanted to achieve this event, and we wanted it to be fancy and sophisticated, the main colours being gold and green. And currently we are finishing up everything, practicing before the big event next month, finishing decorations and all that kind of stuff. These are some pictures that describe what the theme we wanted to go for looks like. So we thought green and gold looked really nice together. So we are buying loads of balloons, doing balloon arches, feathers, pearls, everything that's fancy. And we're also planning on doing a little photo booth where the attendees can take pictures and take a nice memory home from the day. So next I'll show some video effects that I've created for this ceremony as a technical and production director. Yeah, so these are only 3 of the effects I've done so far. There's many more, but I just couldn't add all of them. It's very nice to work in a team, especially a small team of 3, because things like this kind of stuff or effects can be complicated to decide what to do. So working in a team is so fun. So we can decide together if there's anything that one of us isn't too sure about, we'll just discuss it and figure it out together. But yeah, this is about the Jump Awards 2023 that we're planning. So moving on to the finance part of my course. Some modules that I've done include accounting skills and taxation, which was my personal least favourite during my first year. But this year I've done financial reporting, and currently I'm doing financial management and management accounting for control. I'm really enjoying my finance modules so much, especially this second year. I'm not the best at basic maths, but thankfully we do get to use a calculator, so it's all good. But I'm really enjoying my finance modules this year. These are some of the other modules I've completed during first year and second year. So this year we've done sustainable business and circular economy, the professional graduate, and data research for business, as well as project management. So currently we are doing data research for business, which is a module that's helping us prepare for our dissertation next year. These are some of the things I've done from my modules that I've mentioned, which were the most fun for me to do. So the first picture is a me map, which I had to complete for the academic and professional skills module, which was very fun to do because it's just basically a map about myself, and I like drawing and stuff, so I think it was really fun to do. The second picture is a Gantt chart from my project management module, which I completed last semester and surprisingly did good at. But this wasn't the first time I did a Gantt chart, but it was the first time using the project app, the Microsoft app. So it was very interesting to use, but it was really fun to do as well. So I really enjoyed that. And the last picture is a sales plan that I had to do for my enterprise awareness module last year, which was linked to finance. So I really enjoyed it. But yeah. Now I'll talk a little bit about my work experience, which isn't a lot, but I definitely want to expand it. Firstly, Farbridge, I worked there for a little bit until it got to the point where the place was a bit far from my hostel residence and the shifts were really late at night. So I had no way of getting back. So I did leave it. But it was very, very good experience in a wedding venue where I worked as front of house. My job was to greet guests with drinks, resetting tables, restocking any low items, refilling glasses, carrying plates to tables, and just that kind of stuff. It was a very good way of learning what organizing an event is like and the details. It needs to be perfect. I am a perfectionist, so I understood so well how the event planner was just running up and down. It was stressful and all that, but it was really enjoyable. Then White Paper International, it's a warehouse where I worked to pack a variety of goods. I used devices, I used the computer to record and monitor inventory. I was doing this job and Farbridge job simultaneously, so it got to the point where it was very stressful doing this and university, so I just had to leave them both. But it was really fun to do this job. But it was early mornings, long shifts, and working during winter was hard and cold, but it was definitely a good experience. During summer between finishing sixth form and starting university, I downloaded the app Coupal, which is basically an app that just gives you many different part-time jobs. You just apply for shifts whenever you want. So it's a great way to be flexible. So first job I applied was Delivery Editions, which is an office. And since then I've just loved working there. So every time those shifts I just applied. So I just had to pack promotional bags, dispatch them to the riders, answering phone calls and that kind of stuff. It was a really fun environment. It was fast paced and hectic, but I really enjoyed it for some reason because I like being under pressure. So currently every time I just go back home during Christmas or Easter or any bank holidays, I just apply for some shifts. And lastly, I am always a student ambassador at the university where I work open days, applicant days. I generally love doing it. It's just so nice to communicate and socialize with potential students and parents, and I just love meeting new people and being friendly, so it's a good way to also practice communication skills and everything. And it's a very flexible job because you can just work whenever you're available. So now my future plans. Obviously first, I want to get some finance experience since I already have some events from the wedding venue. So for my placement next year, I do want to get involved into the finance sector. Next, I do obviously want to graduate and after that move back to London with my parents and get a master's in finance. I'm thinking more international finance, but I still have to do some research on it. And lastly, just get into the real world and work probably in finance. Currently, I'm leaning more towards finance, but I really am enjoying defense management. So, but you never know what life can bring you, so I'll just have to wait and see what happens in the future. But yeah, that was just a little bit about me. So I think it's interesting.
Thank you very much, Amet. And now we will go to Rhiannon. So Rhiannon, if you want to take over the screen, it's all yours.
Do you have my presentation? I sent it because I'm doing it from a phone as my laptop broke.
Oh, okay. Yes, let me pull it up then. Just one second.
I was in meetings all day, otherwise I'd have done it from the work office to make it a bit easier.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just getting it downloaded, and then what I'll do, I'll share the screen.
Yeah, I've got it printed so I can read.
Yeah, and then you could just tell me when you want me to change the slide.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, there we go. So okay, can you all see it? Can you see the slides?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay, go ahead.
So I've gone more down the career path and how graduating from Chichester Uni and the placements have helped me get the career I've got today and what sort of career I do each day. Some of my highlights at uni, obviously I did marketing. As some of the lecturers on this call may know, I wasn't very I'm not very educational. I was very much go to uni because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But the placement really put me down the route of finding I was so lucky enough to get a job at the end of it and find a career which I feel like I've been quite successful in. So I'm going to go more about along that line. Next slide. Thank you. Oh, don't know what that was. Didn't know there was transitions. I'm so sorry. So I graduated in 2020, and during my second year, I started a placement with Enterprise Rent a Car. So I did that for 1 year. Going into my third year, I also did the other optional placement, which I think was 3 months. Did get cut short because of COVID. But then I got to write my dissertation from home whilst being on furlough, which was quite nice. But I did my dissertation also on customer service and enterprise as well. Doing the placements did offer me a guaranteed job at the end of it, which now I've had 3 promotions in 3 years, and I'm now branch manager at the Chichester store. Next. So a little bit about what I do on a daily basis. Obviously, like I just said, I'm a branch manager at the Chichester store. I own a £4 million car fleet on my own, which is quite an achievement for my age. Did get promoted at 23 years old, which I think was the youngest branch manager ever employed. And then obviously within that, when you do start enterprise, whether it is as a placement year, an intern, whatever you choose, you start at management level. So you're a management trainee from the very moment you walk through the doors. Things I do on a day-to-day is I fleet plan. Obviously, I'm called Rent a Car. I do rent cars, but that is not the only thing I do, as most people think. We have vans, flexi rent, car club, long-term rentals. So we are jiggling a massive, massive fleet. And we've just taken over Alumni, National, and in talk of a few more big names. So we have got quite a few under our belt. And there are so many bonus opportunities within my job as well. So obviously you get your standard pay. I'm on commission now, I'm at management level, but each little part of enterprise, so if you get a car club sign up or a flexi rent sign up, which is different types of rentals, you get paid off it as well. Marketing, so obviously my degree is marketing, and I brought that into my job. Is every single day I market for new business, so I'll go out to local accounts, go marketing, use my degree in that aspect to go and get new business into the company. Whether that's donut drops, organising ice cream vans, we've done it all. Cost management, so kind of a number side. The numbers is not my strong point at all, but I can kind of get my head around it. So we'll go through monthly statements, work out where we're making money, where I'm losing money, and then what I need to improve on. So you're always on track of, no matter how big your business is, you always know where you're performing and what you need to do better with. To keep it fun, obviously I've got a team of staff. I will change what they do every month, so they learn new skills, whether that is sort of the money side, finance side, whether that's marketing, whether that's service, whatever it is, different parts of the business, that I will change every single sort of month to keep them busy and keep it fresh, I think, because you don't want to be doing the same mundane job at the desk every single day, because I know how that can get. Sales and service is a huge part of my role. I've had quite a lot of experience in the past at university, similar to Amet's. I had multiple jobs going at one time. I was at Butlins, I was at a pub, and it is exhausting. So my biggest recommendation is doing that placement year was so good for me, because I managed to save so much money because I was paid off it in that year, as well as it guaranteeing a job at the end. Goals and targets, obviously I have goals and targets to reach, and personal ones I want to reach. Enterprise, obviously, also we only rent cars, but there's so many different events you can attend. So they do a women in leadership event. They do big branch manager meetings where we can go away to hotels. They put whole meetings on. They do charity events, charity meetings, and then going into the charity side of things, we want to give back to the community as much as possible. So with Enterprise, they give you something called a My Purpose, My Time day, where you get a paid day off to go and work with the local community, whatever that may be. And on top of that, if you've got a charity that's important to you, they have funding that you can apply for to get some money to your chosen charity. So they're always wanting to give back. Promotions and progressions are all within the company. So you know, from the moment you get a job at Enterprise, you're working towards your next promotion, and somebody outside can't come in and take that opportunity away from you, which it works well because you know the business the best. It's annoying if someone from another company came in and took that branch manager role when you've been working towards it for however long. There are lots of perks at the company as well. So I have a company car. Now I'm a branch manager, which is quite nice because every single day I can just choose what car I want to take home. So I've driven some nice cars. You can obviously the Costco memberships, health schemes, relocation. So another big one that's going on at the moment is they're wanting people to go and work in Australia and Spain. So they could pay you to go out there, pay for your accommodation to go and work in that country. So I've got one of my staff members wanting to do Australia at the moment. And another one's already in Australia, but from before. Bike to work. So we understand we are a rental company, not very good for the environment, but the new schemes of car club and having bikes to work is going to help that in the future. And strong pension. So obviously, like any other job, you'll pay into a pension and they pay into it as well. At the end of every single year, if the enterprise makes above targets, that money doesn't go to in their pocket, it goes in your pension. So for example, this year, whatever percentage I'm on my commission, they matched it into my pension, so I got a nice sum, which obviously later on I'll benefit from. And reward, they are so highly driven on reward. So one of our enterprise founding values is work hard, reward hard work, and that really is true. I've managed to win 7 awards in the last 11 months from Enterprise, just got my 8th the other day. But with that being said, the rewards are not just a well done, a pat on the back. They take you on paid days out. So I've done Ascot races, I've done Winter Wonderland, we've done hotels in golf days and hotels in Wales, you name it, we've kind of done it. I've got one coming up on Thursday where they're taking us to London for the day. So there's a lot of reward for your hard work. Ready for the next slide? So what are my next steps? Always looking for the next promotion. Obviously, I'm very, very career driven. Kind of obvious maybe, but I am always looking for what's next. keep building on my personal brand. So every single day I'm marketing myself to customers, clients, employees, whatever that may be. I am building on it. And over the last, say, 4 years, I think I've really focused on my brand being really important. And I think if you've got a good brand whilst at university, that will really help you throughout the rest of your career life. And keep obviously hitting goals, targets, and trying to get as many achievements as I can. And then employ new people. So I was a campus brand ambassador at Chichester University when I did come back between the placements, where we did obviously try and recruit people in. We are always still recruiting. So my details are on the screen if anybody is interested or wanted any further questions. But I can't highly recommend the placement year or the 3-month enough if you have that opportunity, because it's the best thing I ever did. And that is it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me just come out the screen. Okay, well, thank you very much, Amet and Rhiannon. Are there any vacancies at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Rhiannon? That sounds like an exciting career that you have.
We've just employed someone that came to one of the open days where we came along, and he interviewed with me. He interviewed me maybe last month, and we just offered him the job, ready for the summer.
Oh, okay. Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, thank you very much for your presentation. So this is the part where we get to answer your questions. So if you've got any questions, you can speak out loud or you can put them in the chat and I'll read them out. And so let's just see. So while we're waiting for questions to come into the chat, will any of the staff team, do any of you have any comments to make on the presentations, and there's anything that you would like to highlight to our guests joining us?
Can I just say thank you very much, Amet and Rhiannon. Rhiannon, I remember you at university. Do you remember I was your personal tutor?
Oh, it's probably your worst nightmare.
No, not at all. So when you come here, you get a personal tutor. So if you ever have any difficulties, we're the first people that you come to. And it was really good to hear Amet talking about the student ambassador role. It's a really important role, and actually it does provide a really good opportunity to gain some work experience, and it does look good on your CV if you're representing the university. And Amet has really helped me a lot going out to schools where there's some interesting times, aren't there, Amet? Yeah,
yes.
and I'd just like to point out the placement options. So Dawn's online, and Dawn manages the short work placements in the final year, and Rob is also online, who manages the 1-year placements. So I'm wondering if this is a good opportunity for you to sort of talk about that a little bit more, particularly with the changes and the opportunities for studying overseas as well.
You want to go first, Dawn?
If you like, yes. Okay, in the final year, your 3rd year, you will be required to do a placement. Placements are compulsory in the 3rd year now. They are part-time placements. They take 20 weeks and you will spend Monday and Tuesdays at a placement. Now, I don't want to confuse you too much. The majority of students will actually go to a company such as Enterprise, as Rhiannon did. She went to Enterprise. But from the part-time basis, you'll go on a Monday and a Tuesday. You will work with the company and you will develop a project that you can do with the business. So your final dissertation that you do for your final degree will be done as part of the placement during year 3. So it's going to be absolutely great fun. Some of the places that people have gone to are just amazing, And like Rhiannon, many of them come back afterwards with a job already signed and sealed. So it's a good opportunity for you to try out the skills that you've learnt in the first 2 years, to put them into the test in your final year in the safety of a placement environment. So that's what we now call the 20-year placement, or professional practice, as is the title. Has anybody got any questions on that particular placement?
And can I just say that the placement, we provide you support in finding the placement. So don't worry about not finding a placement. You will get a placement. We have a careers department that will find you a placement. So a placement is guaranteed. So you don't have to worry about that.
Yes, thank you, Wendy.
You also get the opportunity to work as a consultant. So if you don't want to go and work in the premises, you can work remotely. You also get the opportunity to have a go at starting up your own business, with mentoring as well, if you prefer to explore that.
Yes. There is a question in the chat. I'll read it out, and then you all could decide who's going to answer it before we come back to Dawn or Rob. How much help does the university give in terms of getting placements? And also, what about part-time jobs on or near campus? I'll just say that part-time jobs, there are quite a few part-time jobs in the area, because Chichester is a buzzing city with lots of pubs and businesses. But then on the outskirts as well, students do take part-time job in wedding barns, wedding venues, conference venues. There's also Goodwood as well in the area, and they offer jobs to our students first before they advertise them. So that answers that part of the question. Would anyone of you like to take the one on help with placements?
Yeah, I'll take it, Wendy. The careers service has a dedicated placements officer. How she works is she'll have companies will come to her and say, I need a project done. Have you got any students? And we will then match students to the placement. Or you can go to see her and tell her that you want to work at a specific company, and she will work with you to try and ensure you get your placement within that organization. It is up to you to get a placement, but there is an awful lot of support available to help you achieve that. But as Wendy pointed out, if you don't put the work in to get the placement, or for whatever reason you don't know where you want to go, we will have placements that we can place you in, so you will get a placement.
And we have more placements or jobs available than people to take them up anyway.
We do. Last year we had over 40 placements, that companies wanting people as placement students, and we were contacting the staff in marketing saying, you know, please can you make sure you tell the students we've got this, and they kept saying, well, we can't, because every single marketing student is on placement. There are no more students. So yes, we do get quite a lot of placements coming in.
Yeah, I think Rob was saying something. Rob?
Yeah, the 1 year placement is slightly different. It takes place between year 2 and year 3. And Rhiannon, it was really fascinating to hear your experience, and that's the experience I hear an awful lot when I go to visit students out on placements, and that's what I'm sort of organising now. And I guess what I would say is that when students do come back from their year in industry, is they're almost like completely different people. It's like they've been sort of baptized into employability, if you like. They're very different people, and it's a joy really to see that development. So it is a significant development opportunity to have that paid work placement for a year. It does take a bit of search and enterprise to actually get a placement, but the careers service are excellent in terms of providing all of the support that you need, but it does require a certain amount of sort of dedication and effort to secure a placement. But they are extremely good, and as Rhiannon has testified, they do lead to really great personal development and results.
Yes. Well, thank you. I just wanted to add as well that a lot of part-time jobs, permanent jobs, and placements come through our alumni networks and student networks. Like Rhiannon mentioned, they just hire somebody from through the university, and we get a lot of former students coming back saying, "Here's a job in my company, here's a placement. Is there anybody that you could send us to fill that post?" So that's very common. I don't know of anyone who wanted a part-time job or placement that didn't get one, actually. And even although 1-year placement might be a bit more tricky, if you really want one, you will get one if you put in the work.
We also have the option of study or work overseas in a semester or a year as well, and there is funding towards that, some touring funding. So if you're interested in getting some overseas experience, then again, Careers Centre can help you with that.
So Dawn, do you want to talk a little bit about the options, project options in the 3rd year? Because we've just changed that a bit, where you can do like a live project consultancy. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Certainly. It comes under the umbrella of placement, and this is where it can get a little bit confusing. But essentially, the placement has 4 options to it. The majority of people will do a straight placement. They will go to a place of work, and they will work with an employer for the 20 weeks. Some people may decide that they would like to start their own business. The 20-week placement gives them the opportunity to do that. They will work closely with Tara, and they will look to develop various aspects of their business to launch that particular business. It's quite a nice idea because it allows people the scope to try things out with the security of not having to get business loans and lots of other things. So you'll cover all sorts of topics with Tara, and she'll probably tell you a little bit about that in a minute. And then there is the possibility, if you are an event student, at the moment, the event students can have the opportunity of doing a live event, and that is held under the umbrella of placement. And finally, it's the consultancy report. We've included this because consultancy is quite a difficult thing to do, but when you have come back from a year in placement, as Rob quite rightly points out, you have a lot more employability skills, you have a lot more business acumen than you had before you went. Therefore, you may prefer, rather than going out onto a placement for 20 weeks, you may prefer to just work with a company to do some consultancy, to sort out some sort of issue or problem a company has. So those are the 4 ways that you can do the placement.
Dawn, we have some marketing students online and some business marketing as well. So an example of a consultancy would be to write a marketing plan or to develop a marketing strategy for that client.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course, there's still the traditional thesis option as well.
The thesis option is run alongside the placement.
The placement.
So
right.
basically you do the placement and you develop up the project that is your final project. You develop it in the first semester. In the first 10 weeks, you develop what the project's going to be, what you're going to tackle, how you're going to tackle it, who you need to talk to, and you come up with the proposal for doing the project. And then in the second semester, whilst working at the company, you will deliver that particular project and develop your final dissertation.
And I think the good thing is about this is all the different choices. So, but at the end of your 2nd year, you will know what it is you like to do. You will know what you have a passion for, and you have all these different choices so that you can follow your passion. Whereas in certain other universities, you may only have one option, and that's to write a traditional thesis, sometimes without the placement. So if you want to set up your own business, that would be the time to do it, and you'll get all the business support that you can. And I think it's really good practice that you have all these different choices.
Mm.
Does anybody have any other questions? Feel free to put them in the chat. You may want to know about field trips. You may want to know about the type of assessments that we do, because we've got so many different types of assessments. It's not just like writing essays. So if you have any questions about assessments, field trips, anything like that, I see something coming up in the chat now. Thank you so much for this helpful presentation. I would like to ask a question to Rhiannon. So Rhiannon, this is for you. As I'm interested in marketing too, and enjoyed hearing about Rhiannon's journey. What was challenging for you, and what did you most enjoy about uni life?
Challenging was, I think before I did my placement, was I thought the assignments, like I said, I don't like writing them. I don't know why I went to university, but I'm glad I did. But it's more the assignments that was challenging. But I think after I did my placement, I really matured and I realized what I wanted to do, and I really grew up. I was quite immature before going on placement, and I did go to lectures, but I regret not working harder, probably. Whereas when I'd done the placement and I'd come back, I was probably I think Tara would agree, I was a completely different person from before I left. What was the next part? What was the next part of the question?
Oh, the next part of the question
What did you
was,
enjoy?
what did you enjoy most about uni life?
Specifically with Chichester University, one of the biggest reasons why I chose it was how almost like it's a family. It's quite, you know, everyone on site, everyone knows you on site, you get along with the lecturers really well. The classes are small. Like, I could never imagine me sitting in a seminar with 150 people looking at a screen, whereas I think my biggest class was 8 people back then. So it was, you got more one-to-one time. It's more, I don't know, that was more me. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I enjoyed about university, is I was never worried, and it was very community family feel, and which is the reason why I went to Chichester.
Thank you. And Alex, you're also working on a project. Although you're in your second year, you're actually you've designed and you're about to deliver an event for a client, so an actual real life client. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? What is that like for you?
Yeah, so we are doing the Jump Awards 2023. It's very fun to do, a bit stressful, but I do like working under pressure anyways. It's fun to have to communicate a lot and having to talk to the client here and there, having to prepare so many things about it, having to write an operations plan about it. It is very fun. It is a lot of hard work, I would say. And it is something you have to be like very, very particular about. You have to always be doing it. You can't really leave it a week and then continue. You have to be doing it every single week, doing your own time. But it is very, very fun to do, to be fair, especially with a team that you know, because we have small classes, our class is quite small, so it is nice to know everyone and to be friends with everyone. So working in a team with friends is fun as well.
Mm-hmm. And you also get support from other students as well throughout the university on the Jump Awards, and also students who are in the same class but maybe doing another event. So it's a really nice community, because I lecture on that, or I don't know if I say lecture, but I teach on that. And it's even enjoyable for me. I love it, especially working on the special effects and having a good laugh at some of the funny special effects before we actually find the ones that we like. you know, and the rehearsing. It's real life skills development, actually. Yes. So again, we still have a little time left, just over 10 minutes left. So put those questions in the chat. And in the meantime, as we draw this meeting to a close, I would just like to ask everyone here if they have some final comments or if there's something that they would like to mention that maybe they forgot to say earlier. Maybe we can start with you, Tara. If there's anything else you would like to add?
Yes, thank you very much, everybody. For those who are online and interested in joining the university, if you do have any queries, you can email me, and we can always organise a separate individual Teams chat. So it's t.lovejoy@chi.ac.uk. I'll pop it in the chat. But you know, if you want any questions about the detail in terms of what modules you're studying and that sort of thing, and are you on the right course, then sometimes that can help. So I'll just put my email in the chat, just in case you do want to get in touch. Okay, so best of luck with everything, and we might see you in the next webinar.
Yeah. MX, anything else you would like to add?
I think one of the main things I wanted to say was during first year you get to do many modules on all of the subjects in business school. So you get to do marketing modules, you get to do finance modules, you get to do many different modules, even if that's not your course. But I think that was really helpful, especially for so many of my friends that eventually changed to another module, to another course because of those modules. It is really helpful that you get to do a bit of everything to actually figure out what you actually enjoy doing. But yeah, that was really helpful.
Yeah, and thank you for mentioning that, Amit. It's just very important because sometimes when people come, they still are not sure what they want to do. And if you are not sure, it doesn't matter because you could also switch your course as well during the first year or at the end of the first year. 'Cause some students do that because maybe they've done a marketing course or an event course or finance course, and they go like, hey, I really love this, and I want to switch the route that I'm on, or even pick up what we call a joint route. So it's very flexible for you to do that. So thank you, Amit, for mentioning that. Paul, would you like to add anything?
Yes, thank you, Wendy, and thank you everybody for coming along. I think in addition to the variety of modules that we do, and you will be exposed to many different topics, which hopefully will excite you and get you thinking about your career. You'll also be exposed to quite a variety of lecturers as well, who have a very varied background, quite a lot within industry, which means that we're able to bring into there some real world experience to help you on your journey. And it is a journey to think about when you come and join us. And you've heard there from our two wonderful speakers about the journey they've both been on. And it is a journey when you first join us and when you graduate. And it's something to really look forward to and embrace when you come to the university.
Thank you, Paul. Definitely, we have lecturers from all over the world at the University of Chichester, as well from diverse fields in business and in commerce. So, and we also have people doing lots of research in their fields as well. So a lot of what we do is research and industry-informed teaching. So you will be exposed to the latest trends and to the best that the sector has to offer. So, Rhiannon, your turn.
Definitely touching back what Amit and Tara said, I am firsthand someone that changed their degree halfway through. I actually came in doing HR and realised it wasn't for me. Like, I definitely more of I want to be with customers and everything, which is why I went down the marketing route. And now I do literally a bit of everything in my job now. But if I hadn't done that first year with Chichester Uni and done a bit of everything, I would never have known what I was better at. So that I definitely think lean on all the lecturers as well as much as possible. They're there to help. They are on your side, 100%. Yeah, I am first hand as someone that did change their degree halfway through, and I think I changed my dissertation title about 20 times. But no, that's probably it from me.
Okay, thank you. Paula.
I remember teaching you when you came back, Rihanna, from the year out. You did my employee relations, and I remember being so struck by how ambitious you'd become, but also how much you wanted to achieve and how successful you've been. And actually, your year group, Enterprise, took many of you on placement, and so many of you thrived with that particular business. And I think you absolutely made the right decision when you sort of came in to do one thing and then you found your real place. And I was just going to say about Amet's, I think what you did really nicely for us was you showed applicants how you could do a joint like finance and events and how it might be structured. So how you could explore that, a finance subject, but actually how you could explore events at the same time. And actually, although they might seem very different, they actually got quite a nice overlap, because I think we have got applicants who are interested in joint options because they're not really sure what area of business they'd like to go to.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you, Paula. And Dawn.
I haven't got much to say, to be honest. I think everybody said it for me. Just really that I think the hard work of the staff over the last couple of years has made the programme provision such that it offers really worthwhile practical as well as theoretical knowledge, and I think it now sort of excels at what we've got. So come and join us and see for yourself.
Yes. Well, thank you all very much. And I think if I have a closing remark to make, it would be that this is a series of webinars that we will be having over the next few months. And the next webinar is scheduled for 24th of May, I believe. So that webinar is going to feature a different set of students and former students. Again, all in exciting careers and doing exciting things. And it will also feature someone from our careers department as well. So if you want to know more about the careers support, do look for that notification email and come and join our next webinar and have those questions answered and get to see yet again another aspect of what type of success you can get from studying for a business degree at the University of Chichester. So I don't see any more questions in the chat. So I just want to say thank you all for joining. A special thank you again to Amex and Rihanna for taking this time in the evening to join us. Thank you to all of the staff, Tara, Paul, Dawn, Paula, and Rob, who just left us. Thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see all of our guests here again on the 24th of May for the next webinar. Look out for that email. Thank you very much.
Wendy, can I just raise that Aisha has put a chat in here.
Oh,
that
here it
Paula,
is.
Paula
Yes.
might like to
Yes,
look
sorry
at.
about that. I didn't see that. I'll just read that out. I wanted to do the marketing and HR combined course, but as you don't offer it anymore, I'm looking into the HR course. Do you want to comment on that, Paula, before we go?
Hi, Aisha. Thank you for the question. So for entry in 2023, we will be offering a combined degree program, which is business management and HR. So that will be with a, like Amet's described, a degree where you would combine, knowledge of business management, but also have a specialism in the people-focused area of organizations. So that's what you would be looking for in terms of our course provision.
There will be some marketing modules within that in your first year.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us, and do have a wonderful evening, and see you on the 24th of May for our next webinar. Thank
Okay.
you very
Thank
much.
you.
Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Wendy.
Thanks, Wendy.
Bye.
Bye.
Are we alone?
I think we are.
Okay.